We've all heard that when it comes to building a brand on social media, personal branding is super important. But what exactly does that mean? Why is it so powerful? How do you get started? All the things, right? For any one of you who have been hearing about how important building a personal brand is, but no one seems to be able to explain actually what it is or how to do it. Today's episode is just for you. We're going to dig into all of those things and clear away all the mystery so you can get started on building your own brand. So let's do this. Welcome to the Impactful Entrepreneur Show with Adrienne Hill, a place for online business industry expertise and thought leadership, where you can build the skills, structure, and systems you need to thrive in business and have a lasting impact in your industry. Let's do this. I'm the host and creator, Adrienne Hill, and I am so excited because today I'm here with Carolina Millan, who is a digital marketing expert and coach from Chile. And so she is here to talk to us about all things digital marketing, but specifically her personal branding secrets that have really allowed her particular business to really take off and to basically she's kind of taken over a lot of social media platforms and has a really nice following going for her. So I'm super excited to pick her brain and learn about her zone of genius. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm excited to be here and add a little extra culture to your summit.
Yeah, that's great. I can't wait to dig in. So for those in the audience who maybe have not met you yet, can you tell us just a little bit about your business and kind of how you got your start and how you found yourself in the world of digital marketing?
Yeah, absolutely. So I got started a long time ago, back in 2008, while I was at my job. It was my first job fresh out of university. And a few months into it, I discovered I just couldn't be an employee. And I started looking for ways to start my own business. I went online and I discovered all sorts of people making a living on the internet and being able to travel and do everything from their laptops. And it sounded very appealing to me. And I started self-educating, reading books, following experts, trying to figure out what would work for me. And that's how I discovered social media and became very passionate about it. And I realized I had a talent for it. And after a few months, I started getting attention, at first locally here in Chile. And other businesses started to ask me, hey, can you help me with my Twitter, Facebook strategy? It seems like you know what you're doing. So while I was still at my job, I started doing this little side hustle and helping some businesses. And then when I was able to replace my salary, that's when I quit my job and started working as a freelance social media community manager at first and consultant. And then I started to branch out to other areas of digital marketing, funnels. I started learning about traffic, Facebook ads, sales funnels. I started my blog, my YouTube channels. And so slowly but steadily, I started to take off and get closer to where I am today.
Oh, wow. That's fascinating. So you were able to build this alongside your career.
Yeah.
And so you started helping local businesses that were local to where you're living?
Restaurants mostly. Like I was working with a couple restaurant owners who wanted to leverage social media to get more clients and provide better customer service. So I started locally, and then I started thinking, hey, I can work. I mean, my goal was to work from anywhere in the world. So I would like to have clients anywhere in the world and not just locally. So then I started branching out and generating content in English because I figured, hey, that might get me more attention outside of Latin America, and it did.
Oh, wow. So I know a lot of the people watching in the audience they're working very hard to do exactly what you were able to successfully do, and specifically building their business through using social media. And working your way out of your job is such a challenge. And so do you have any tips for those who are in that place of like trying to make that leap? What can they do to really help to make social media work harder for them?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I focused on was building my personal brand, because the experts I started following, when I went on Google to look up, how can I start a business online and all of this, I discovered a few experts, mostly from the United States, who were saying you need to build a brand, you need to stand out, you don't want to be a commodity, you don't want to be the same as everybody else, so you need to be known for who you are, and have your voice heard, identify what your message is. So I spent time on that, on how can I position myself as an expert in something that I care about. So I started learning about social media so that I could be seen as an expert in the topic without calling myself, hello, I'm an expert. I wanted other people to see it. And that's what happened. Other people started asking me before I started offering anything. They were like, hey, can you help me with this? So that's when I realized, hey, it's working. If you add value, if you if you invest time in yourself, money, in hiring, sometimes you have to hire some mentors to help you along the way. But at the beginning, I didn't have a big budget to pay a coach or a mentor or somebody to teach me everything one-on-one. So I had to buy some books and take some online courses, and that's what allowed me to gain skills that the average person didn't have when they were trying to get on social media and make it work for them. So if you learn a few skills, that will put you a few steps ahead of the people who are coming right behind you. And that's all you need. Like, you don't need to be ultimate expert or invest hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to have some authority. What you need to be doing is implementing what you learn. That's very important. Everything I was learning, I was implementing it on my own brand. Like, I was my first case study, I guess. So if it worked for me, okay, will it work for other people? So I think that's very important, that you test that things work before you go and try to make it work for someone else if you don't even know if it works for you.
Yeah, that completely makes sense. Well, and so for those of you listening, there's so many golden nuggets in what she just shared. So I just want to pull out just a few to highlight. So the things that really stood out to me, you said that you were building a personal brand around who you really are. It's not that you
Yes.
were trying to be someone you're not. You
No,
were just trying to truly stand in who you are and
exactly.
what you already cared about. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you said implementing what you're learning, you are your first client,
Correct.
right?
You should be your first success story, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I love, love, love that you said you don't have to be the expert of all experts. You just have to be 2 steps ahead
Yeah,
of the person you're
just two
helping.
steps. Exactly.
Yes. And I love that. That's so inspiring because I think a lot of people feel a lot of pressure that they have to be something they're not, or that they can't possibly help anyone until they're such a big expert that everyone knows them. But honestly, it just starts with you're your first success story. And then you just have to help one other person and one
Yes.
other person. And it goes from there.
Exactly. You start building that confidence, like, and that applies to any niche, any market you're in. I mean, if something worked for you, it might work for other people, so you will want to test and help other people. And if that works, you will gain more confidence, and you see, oh, there's potential for what I know, for what I do. What if I can help a few more people who are a few couple steps behind me? And then obviously you want to keep investing in yourself so that you continue to be 2 steps ahead of the people that, you start bringing them with you, right? So you need to constantly be educating yourself, figuring out who are the other experts in my market that I should be following. What are they doing? What books are they reading? So maybe I should read those books too. What's working for them? And, have a few role models that you can follow, but you don't need to be at the super level in order to help other people.
Right. Yeah, that's so inspiring because yeah, I mean, one step at a time, right?
Yeah.
So it sounded like in the beginning you started local and it sounded like you started with Facebook and Twitter. Is that correct?
Yeah. Twitter was like my go-to platform at the time. It was still relatively new. I mean, 2008. It's like a long time ago. And Facebook, yeah, Facebook had only been around for 4 years, so they were kind of new. So
Yeah.
those were the two main platforms I was on, and then I started generating content on YouTube, but I started with Twitter and Facebook.
Okay. Interesting. So, I mean, it sounds like you kind of started learning and appearing on all the different social media platforms, and how nice to be on the leading edge when they're still kind of new, right? Um,
Yeah.
do you have like specific techniques or strategies that you found work better on some versus others in terms of building that personal brand, or any tips for the audience on where it might be best to start or spend most of their attention?
Yeah, definitely. It varies from market to market, of course. For some markets, Instagram would be like the number one network where you should be focusing on. For others, it might be Facebook or YouTube or Twitter or, well, Clubhouse, the newest one. But I find that nowadays, with how many different formats you have on Instagram, it's like a really good one to start, because you have photos, you have videos, you have longer videos, you can go live, you have stories. Like the only thing that Instagram doesn't have yet is audio, and I'm sure eventually there will be audio maybe on Instagram or Facebook. Um, so Instagram is, I think it's a good one right now to start. And the good thing about Instagram, it's relatively easy to find new people to follow, to connect with. You will probably find most of your own role models, or the people that you want to follow in your niche, are probably there. So it's good to follow some people that you look up to. Like, that's really important. I follow most of the people that I look up to. I'm following them there. I'm checking out what they're doing. I'm learning constantly. You never stop learning. So if they try something new, hey, maybe you can model that and try it yourself, and try to follow certain trends. Like, I'm not, sometimes there are certain trends, like funny things, like challenges. I'm not going to do everything if it doesn't go with who I am. Like I said, it's very important to be congruent with who you are. So if there's like a silly dance challenge that everybody's doing, or something like that, maybe I'm not going to do it. But if there's something that hey, well, I can do that, it's kind of fun, then sure, go for it. But it's good to be up to date with that kind of thing, what is trending. And you'll see it on Instagram a lot. So I think that's a good platform to start. You need to be there daily, though. You can't post once a week. You need to be there every day, at least one photo, at least 4 stories in the Instagram stories, where people can see a little bit behind the scenes. You can share bits and pieces of your personal life if you want, or you can share your journey, the journey that you're going through as you build your business. People love to see that. They love to see the real person, behind everything. And just share everything that you would feel comfortable with. Video, again, maybe you can go live once a week, do a live stream. And don't worry if only 2 or 3 people connect. Just get it out of your system. You're like, just do it, and slowly you'll start building up. More people will show up. But even if 1, 2 people show up, don't let that discourage you, because we all start with 0 followers. like the
Right.
first time I joined Instagram, I had 0 followers. I joined when it launched 10 years ago, 11 years ago. When I joined Twitter, I had 0 followers. I had no email list. We all start with nothing. So the only way to build up from that nothing is to do something. and
Right.
not just sit there until the followers magically come in. Don't buy followers. It might be tempting, but don't, because they're not going to be real people. They're not going to engage with you. Even if they are real people, they didn't follow you because of who you are. They just followed you because someone else put your name in some recommendation list or whatever. There are many different ways to buy followers, but I don't recommend it. And just be just be there, like be present, be there, interact with other people. And then the other platform I recommend is YouTube, like, because YouTube has this the reputation that it's not just a social media, but it's a search engine.
Mhm.
So the content you upload there will have a longer lifespan than what you put on Instagram or anywhere else. I have videos from 5, 6 years ago that still get views. People still find them because they go on YouTube, they search for something specific, and oh, I have a tutorial about it, or I have a video where I talk about it, reviews, stuff like that I upload. So it's really powerful. And with YouTube, it's okay if you just upload once a week. I'm doing that now because I have to do it in 2 languages. So there's no way I can upload more than twice a week. But that content does require a little more thought. You don't just randomly post anything on YouTube. You want to think about the video, plan it, then record it. And like I said, that's a good thing because you'll get found if you put the right keywords and all that. But that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, that's great. So if someone is kind of new and emerging and figuring out where to put their time, it sounds like both Instagram and YouTube, for very different reasons, are good places to be. And if our viewers are kind of thinking through and wondering, how important is my personal brand when really I'm trying to sell my offers, like I'm trying to sell my products, and what role does a personal brand play in that? And if they're struggling with how to make that come to life, how could you help them to put some structure around that?
Absolutely. So one thing is building that brand, but of course you want to offer something at some point. Some people are scared. Some people don't know when it's the right time to make an offer. They don't want to be salesy, and you don't have to be salesy. I don't like being salesy, but I know that if I offer enough value for free, and then I have something to offer, people are not going to get upset or anything, because they get so much value from me already for free with my content, that it kind of makes it okay to sell something. And the funny thing is, at some point people will start asking you, do you do consulting, do you do mentoring, do you have a coaching program, do you have a course? Like, people ask me all the time because I don't mention them every single day. So you don't want to be every single day pushing stuff. You want to give, and then every once in a while have something to offer. But what I would definitely recommend, even while you're planning, maybe you don't know yet what you want to sell, at least have a freebie, something you can offer for free, a lead magnet. Build a simple funnel where you can offer people maybe a video course for free, or even an audio course for free, or an ebook. And from there, capture their emails so that you start building that database, so that when you have something you're launching, you have not only your followers, but you also have your email list where you can promote what you're selling. And it's important not to be afraid to sell. But like I said, if you're adding a lot of value, people will see that, and some people will wonder if you have something to sell. Like I've had clients, and I've seen people on social media who build this brand, build this audience, and then they don't know how to monetize it, right?
Yeah.
So it's important to plan that out from the very beginning. What could I give them that adds a little more value than what I can do for free? Could be some time with you, it could be adding some conference calls with you on Zoom or webinars, or you can build a longer course that can follow up the free one that you gave them. Like, there's so many options to monetize your knowledge and monetize your personal brand. It's just a matter of choosing one to start, and then you can build all your product lines.
Yeah, that sounds great. When it sounds like in the beginning too, you were simply sharing your personal brand, you were sharing value, and companies were starting to come to you asking if you could help. And so you created,
at the very beginning, yes.
yeah. So you created that poll, and it sounds like even today people ask you, do you have a course? Do you have a program? How can
yes.
I help you?
Yeah, even today, like I get people on Instagram every single day. Somebody will ask me, hey, how much is your mentorship? Or do you have a mentoring program? Do you do this? Do you do that? Like, sometimes I can't even keep up with the amount of people. Not everybody will end up buying, because for some people it's going to be out of reach, my prices at least. But if they're asking, it's a good sign. It means they see you as someone who has credibility, authority in the subject, and that will only happen if you are constantly creating value content.
Hmm. Well, and I want to circle back to something you've mentioned a few times now, because I think it almost like creates this cycle of, you've mentioned, you're constantly trying to learn something new and better yourself, and you're seeking mentorship, and you're reading books, and you're investing in yourself. And then in return, as you're putting value out, right, you're attracting people who are ready to invest in themselves.
Exactly.
Yes. And it's like a karma circle.
Yeah, you figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
You start attracting the people who are, I don't remember who said it, but there's a saying that goes, be the client you want to attract. So if you want to attract people who invest in themselves, you should be investing in yourself. Like, otherwise, why would people invest in you if you don't invest in yourself? So eventually, when people see that you are going to seminars, that you are reading books, that you are talking to a mentor, they will be like, oh, that's great. Like, this person is constantly on the edge and they are investing in themselves. So I want to invest in them.
Oh, I love that. So write that one down in your action workbook for those of you who are VIP holders. That is definitely a soundbite to save and hold on to, because it couldn't be more true, right? Be the client that you would want to attract.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that. All right. So as you're building out your personal brand, and you're showing up on social media and sharing value, can you tell us some stories about the types of results you can experience when you're following this method, when you're building a brand, anything you've experienced or maybe your clients have experienced in terms of feeling a shift in their business?
Yeah, definitely. For me, it's been, well, on one hand, for some of my products, I haven't had the need to invest so much in paid advertising, for example. For my mentoring, I've never had to set up a campaign to promote it, because I get people asking me all the time and they come organically. And that is a result of adding value on social media. That is a result of being present over there. Same with your email list. If you build content that is useful for people, and it's really important that you have a link in your profile, especially on Instagram, where people can go and learn more about you, so that if they click there, they go to your website, they can download your lead magnet, your freebie, they can be on your email list, and then they can start getting more value from you through different platforms. Because if you only keep it on social media, you are at the mercy of the algorithms. So if the algorithm doesn't want to show your photo today, right, people are not going to hear from you. But when you build an email list, even with people saying that nobody opens their email, it's not true. I still get 10, 15, sometimes 20% open rates in my email newsletters. So that's pretty good. And when people open your email, it's different. It's a different approach. And you can bring those people to different social media platforms. If there's a new social media, hey guys, follow me over here. So then you don't start from zero every time on every new platform that pops up, because you build that audience, you build that email list. And the same thing when you have something you're launching. Hey, so I have this new course that I'm launching, or I'm doing this web class. You invite those people from your social media and from your email list, your email subscribers. And that's where you can also do the selling. If you invite people to a class, I tell people, if it really depends on the the price point, of what you're selling. If it's high ticket, right? If it's something maybe 500, 1,000, 2,000 or higher dollars, you may not want to just go on Instagram and say, hey, buy my $500, $1,000 course just like that. Unless you have built like such a huge celebrity type of brand that they will buy it, right? That takes a lot of work. But otherwise, you can invite people to a live stream or a web class, or somewhere where you can give extra value than what you're giving them on social. You do like a Zoom webinar or something, And there you can make an offer for something that is that has a higher price point. Mm-hmm. But if you're selling maybe a $20 course, maybe you're just launching your very first online course, maybe you just, you price it at $20, $30, $50, whatever it is. Maybe it's just a short mini course. If you have built that trust with that audience, if you have built rapport, if you have added so much value, then you will get some sales just from mentioning it on your social media. I've seen that. I've seen other people that I've worked with who have done that, and other people that I see around that, oh, wow, they just spent 2 months. You can spend 2 months going live every single day. And I've seen people do that. And then you launch your course or your book or whatever you're launching, and you've given so much value for so long that people are going to go and buy. It creates that reciprocity.
Mm-hmm. And I love that. I mean, people have this perception that building an audience takes such a long time, but I love that you have concrete examples of, yeah, it's a lot of work to show up live every day, but 2 months can often be enough to really build some trust with your audience. And at that point, they're probably wondering like, hey, do you have anything for sale? I really like your style. I want more.
They will.
Yeah.
They absolutely will. Yes. I've seen a case of someone who did that on Clubhouse, where they went live every day for 2 months, and then they launched the book, and they're seeing like amazing sales numbers without any ad spend on advertising. Yeah. So you can do that on Instagram, you can do that on Facebook Live, just show up every day for 2 months, see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, we could call it the 2-month challenge. Maybe we'll make a thing coming out of this event, you guys, that we'll have a 2-month challenge and we'll all do it together.
Totally.
Yeah, I love that. So do you have, from using these personal branding secrets and building out your own brand, do you have, a particular accomplishment or something you're super proud of that you could inspire other people to go out and maybe do the same by following your methods?
Yeah, no, definitely. When I started my business, I didn't have like huge expectations or huge goals. But as you start and as you start getting results, your expectations and your goals, they start growing a little bit, and that's good. That's good to have a big like a big goal or a big dream. And I guess for me, one of the best accomplishments for me, and which has been quite an honor, was to make it to the 2 Club with ClickFunnels, which is a software company that helps you build your own sales funnel without the need to know any coding or design or anything. It's super simple, drag and drop, and you can build beautiful pages where people can, buy your products, join your email list, all the stuff I've been mentioning. Most of my funnels I built on ClickFunnels. And when you do $1 million through one of your funnels, they give you an award, which you can see there on my wall. It's a bit dark, but but that's called the 2 Club. So I'm very proud of that one in particular.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's a huge accomplishment. I mean, to go from just starting to build a brand on social media and starting to attract your first 2 people to scaling to the point where you've earned more than $1 million is a huge accomplishment. I mean, that must feel great. And I know from following you and looking at what you have out there, for you, it's not just about the money. Like you're passionate about making an impact in the world and helping people.
Yes.
And so when you have those types of resources behind you, imagine, you can help so many people.
Absolutely. That's the way that I see it. And it represents, people that you helped, people that somehow you generated some kind of impact, small, big, but something positive. So that's the way I like to see it.
Yeah. And I know tons of the people watching here with us today, they're building a business, not just for the money, but for the impact and to truly help people. And so honestly, guys, I mean, being brave enough to put yourself out there and build your personal brand is helping people. You never know who you're inspiring, right?
True.
Yeah.
You never know who's watching your videos. You never know who you might help just because you created a video to put that message out there, and then they'll leave a comment and they'll thank you. Like for me, that is like priceless.
Yeah. And so So yeah, I just think it's wonderful how you've touched on so many different platforms. You started on Twitter and Facebook. You talked about Instagram and YouTube. Are there any other platforms that you work with or that you help clients with to build their brands?
Well, those are the main ones I use. But like I said, and it's still very new. Clubhouse is another one that I would pay attention to. If you have an iPhone, I think it's launching for Android, and they're opening it up in May or something of this year. But if you have an iPhone and you can get an invitation, get on it, because it's great. Like in less than a month, I've made so many connections, because it's still relatively small, where you join and you get to know a lot of people in the community, and you get to connect with really high profile people as well, and you meet people from all over the world, and you get to talk to people, which is a really cool thing. It's like you join, and there are conversations happening between several people sometimes, and you get to talk to them. So it's really cool. And the networking that is going on there, like I've heard of people who have, in a month and a half already signed contracts with 7 or more new clients just for being there. Now that platform is, it's something you cannot outsource, because you have to be there, because it's you talking. It's not like other social media where someone else can post for you. Like Instagram, you can have somebody else edit your photos and post them for you and write for you and everything. Here you have to be there, and it's live. It's not pre-recorded, so everything is happening live. So you join a conversation, you chip in, you add value, you have to be there. So it's time consuming, but for me, so far it's been very worth it. I'm dedicating a few hours a day to it. So strongly recommend that you pay attention to it if you have an account, if you have an iPhone, or if you're waiting for the Android app to open up. As soon as it opens for Android, get in there.
Oh, right.
It's super, super valuable.
Well, I would imagine too, if you're building a personal brand, which is all just about letting people know the real you and who you are, right? That's a great place to do it, because you have to show up live and
you have to be there.
Right? Like it feels a little bit like they're closer to you almost.
Yeah, that is the really cool thing about it, because you get to talk to several people at the same time. It's like having a group conversation with a bunch of people, and there are other people listening, and then they click your bio. It also allows you to connect Instagram directly. So I've had a lot of people who come from there to my Instagram, and Clubhouse doesn't have any DMs yet. You can't post on your profile. All you have is your photo, your bio, and how many followers you have, and then a link to your Instagram and Twitter. So if people are interested in what they heard you say, they'll go and message you on Instagram and say, I love what you said. Like I've had a bunch of people, they go on Instagram, they direct message me. I was listening to you on Clubhouse. I love what you do. Tell me more. So that's like the power of social.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, I love that. So if people wanted to connect with you on Clubhouse, do you have a handle, that place they could find you?
Yeah, I use the same handle on most of my social media, actually. It's my name, at Carolina Millan, and my last name is spelled with double L, Millan. So you'll find me on Instagram, Twitter, Clubhouse, YouTube, LinkedIn, all of them with the same @ which is important for your brand. If you are building your personal brand, try having the same handle on across platforms.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then are there other, if people are loving this topic of building a personal brand and they would like to dig in more, are there other places they could find you to kind of continue the conversation if they want to continue following and learning from you?
Absolutely. So like I said, I create content in Spanish and English, but if you want to connect with me or learn more in English, my English website is still under construction, but it's carolinamillan.net. That's my English website. .com would be my Spanish one, if anybody here speaks Spanish. And then I have a podcast. My podcast is in English, and it's called Beyond the Hustle, and you will find it on most of the podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, all of those. And I do interviews with some really great people. I've had Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, Russell Brunson, who is the founder of ClickFunnels, and a few other amazing people that I admire and look up to that I've been able to interview. That's those are the main places to find me.
Oh, I love that. And I love the name, the title, Beyond the Hustle, because this entire summit is all about moving beyond the hustle and
Yes.
building a business that actually gives us the lifestyle we want to live, not just more busy work, right?
Correct.
So you guys, you have to follow her.
Thank you. I hope so.
So I also understand that you have a free gift for our viewers. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, I do. And it's newly updated. It's my ebook and it's called Personal Branding Secrets. You'll be able to download it by going to personalbrandingsecrets.me, so .me.me/ebook. So if you go to personalbrandingsecrets.me/ebook, you can download this free guide. I recently updated it. It's like 60 pages or so. It's really long and it's free. Where I walk you through some of the things I mentioned now. I walk you through how to, leverage Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and how you can start monetizing your personal brand.
Oh, that's so helpful. So you guys be sure to grab that. And just to make it extra easy on you, somewhere around this video, there will be a button. You can just click and go directly there just to save you a little bit of extra time and make sure that you guys can scoop that up. I mean, it's a full 60-page ebook is a massive value, you guys. So
yeah.
Thank you so much for that very abundant gift.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like most ebooks are like 20 pages, but I wanted to make it like very complete where, you can learn everything. I could probably charge for it, but it's free.
Yeah. Because you're all about impact and connection and helping people. And it comes through in everything that you say and everything that you are. So I love that. So thank you so much for joining us. This was such a pleasure.
No, thank you for having me. I had a really great time. Thank you for the questions you asked. And I hope everybody got some value from what I said today. And if you did, I'd love to hear from you.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Impactful Entrepreneur Show. If you found amazing value here, like, subscribe, and leave us a review to help other people find the high value content that we share, and find us on social media so we can continue the conversation. See you in the next episode.